Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Hey there, magical business owners. The question I have for you today is, do you feel like your online launches have you on a roller coaster of burnout? If you've ever launched an online program, course, membership, you probably answered yes. These launches can be insanely stressful. Something as simple as, I have this amazing idea that will absolutely change people's lives, morphs into a 3-month project with hundreds of hours of writing and page creation and video production, and that's only for the course promotion. That doesn't even include the background of the launch of delivering the program, giving live Q&A calls, managing an online community, and whatever else you're planning on doing within the program to blow your customers' minds. So, if launching is a significant part of your business's revenue, then you know it's kind of like childbirth. And just for the record, I have not birthed a child, but the stories from my mama friends goes a little like this. When you're in the middle of another wave of contractions, you may swear that you will never do this ever again. But then a few months later, with your beautiful baby in your arms, you're already thinking about the name of your next baby. In the middle of your launch, when a lot of things are changing last minute, like an email going out and you have to change a link or a word and it's going out to tens of thousands of people in just a few minutes, you may be feeling haggard, exhausted, and just fucking done. Desperate to find another business model than an online business reliant on quarterly or monthly online program launches. And trust me, you don't want your next launch to have all that negative energy when your awesome new product is just barely out in the world. So today, I'm sharing a tool that I use to make launches more in the flow for the businesses we work with. It's called the 8 Phases of a Numinous Launch, and in my opinion, it's a total game changer, because it completely rewrites the story of launches being a time for high anxiety, burnout, and turnover rates. And by turnover rates, I mean the fact that you can't keep people on your team because you're burning them out, expecting them to be on 24/7 during launches over and over again. So all these things are actually preventable. The main reason why they happen for so many businesses is that most business owners only look at and prepare for half of an online launch. And without the other half, you will continue with an endless cycle of push, leading to burnout. So the 8 Phases of a Numinous Launch uses the phases of the moon to help guide you toward a launch with built-in time to evaluate your progress, congratulate yourself, congratulate your team, and have time to rest and decompress. And I think you'll find that building these into your launch in an organized way can actually make your launch bigger and way more successful than you believe possible, because you and your team will be coming to the table with way more energy, excitement, and tapped into your juicy magic, therefore able to do the hard work. So if you want this all written up for you, you can go to thedirtyalchemy.com/phases and download all of the phases so you don't have to take any notes, and there's some extra info in there that you can use too. So moving on. From my own experience and the experiences of the businesses I work with, I know this can be a deeply transformative tool that can save so much time, energy, and stress. Whether you lead moon circles, you're very intimate with the moon, or you only know about the moon from 4th grade science class and randomly staring up into the sky, most of us know that the moon cycles from new to full and back again. The cycles of nature were once inherent in our culture and somatically known by every member of society. but decades of electric lighting in our homes, heating and cooling to buffer from the weather, and global shipping of food and any item under the sun, this has all divorced us from nature and our deep connection to her cycles. But if you're listening to this podcast, then you are most likely already making strides to connect your mind, body, and spirit back to our earth and sky. When we base our online launches on the cycles of nature, we give ourselves and our teams what is truly needed in our physical plane. And though the internet is always on, our bodies and minds need rest. Factoring this into our businesses and our project plans allow us to have sustainable growth instead of the extreme growth followed by burnout. And what is burnout other than rest that our body forces us to take because we didn't make time for it in the first place? So if you've experienced adrenal fatigue, burnout, or have had continual turnover in your team because they quote unquote aren't fast enough or committed enough, or they think you're a crazy person, this is for you. While a typical moon cycle is 29 and a half days, your launch is most likely going to be much longer than that. Online launches from first design to completion are usually 2 to 3 months or 2 to 3 moon cycles. So the new moon phase of your launch will take 1 to 2 weeks versus a few days like you see it in the sky. So you'll be expanding each phase to your needs, but the importance here is not to skip a phase. And again, you can get this all written up, calendar and dates of lunar phases and all that at thedirtyalchemy.com/phases. So let's start with the new moon. The new moon is a seed planted under the earth, bursting with life. It is dark and unseen, but is full of potential. Now is the time to dream and vision. This is the time to reflect on your past launches with sober eyes. This is also a time of retreat. Take time to be with yourself and make your plans from your own deep knowing instead of searching Google or asking a friend. Our theme for the new moon phase is setting intentions. So what this looks like in a launch is taking time away from outside influences, including social media, friends, your team, naming your intention, reflecting on past launches, writing down your goals and making them measurable, designing your project plan and setting your timeline. With the excitement of a new project, you may be tempted to get started before the plan is fully formed. Take the time to really tap into your intuition and see what you're trying to create through this project and how it fits into your 3-year vision. So on to the waxing crescent phase. Our theme here is taking action. The waxing moon is gaining energy. Now is the time to start taking action on the intentions that you set in the new moon phase. Just as energy is flowing in your projects, it is time to start teasing your upcoming launch to your audience. To-dos here are starting on your project plan, so that's writing, building pages, graphic design, teasing your upcoming launch to your audience, giving value to your audience that is relevant to your upcoming launch, and your Facebook ads may start promoting your launch relevant lead magnet in this phase. So there's a lot of energy during this time. Make sure you connect back to your intentions and the plans that you made during the new moon phase instead of letting your enthusiasm take you off course. Next up is the first quarter phase of the moon, with the theme continued action and facing challenges. So you're halfway to the full moon and gaining momentum in your project plan. With half of the moon in light and half in shadow, now is when obstacles start to pop up that you must face. The best way to handle this phase is to be flexible. With your original intentions in mind, make decisions that are aligned with your inspired goals. The aligned actions here are making a daily to-do list and crossing things off as you do them, finishing first and second drafts of all pages, copy, funnels, and as challenges pop up, making decisions quickly. Be vigilant with your project management system, whether that's Asana or Trello or some other thing. You want to do this so that you can use your launch as a template for future launches, and so your team has structure in place as tasks get more complex and when plans change. And you can actually purchase the project plan template we use for all of our launches we manage for clients. You can check the show notes for more info on that, or just head to our homepage and scroll down to 2 hours to launch. And then also in this phase, Facebook ads may start promoting your webinar, video series, or challenge, or what other launch event you're doing to give value for your launch. You're likely to push yourself pretty hard during this period, so make sure you have systems in place to lighten your load in other areas of life. Look into healthy meal delivery, hire a house cleaner, and ask your husband or mom if they can lend a hand with the kids. So next is the waxing gibbous phase. This is all about refining and patience. So this is when you look up in the sky and the moon is almost full, but there's still that dark crescent that's preventing it from being that full circle in the sky. This is the final phase before the full moon. It's time to focus on editing and refining our goals, tasks, and projects. Plans don't always work out how you originally designed them to, so this is the time to make changes. And with your launch going live soon, this is the time to do final checks on what it will be going out into the world. Your waxing gibbous to-dos are final edits on all copy, assigning the task of quality assurance to one of the members of your team to thoroughly go over every email, link, webpage, and graphic, and having your tech person test each step in the funnel. Things may come up in this phase that need addressing. Don't shy away from change at this time. Embrace it. Ask yourself, what do I need to give up? Where do I need to change direction? How can we edit our plans? And finally, the full moon. Celebration and tension. The full moon occurs when the moon is in opposition to the sun, in the opposite zodiac sign. At the peak of energy, we're asked to find balance between two extremes. Now is not a great time to make drastic decisions, but instead reap the rewards of all the work that you've done. This is when you'll host your live webinar, video series, or challenge, open doors to enroll in your online program. Yay! And super important, every day, do things that help manage your emotions, like going for walks, journaling, calling your best friend, eating healthy food. Now is the time to receive the bounty of all the work that you've put in. Ask yourself, am I truly open to receiving? What are my deepest fears around actually getting what I say I want? But the full moon is only halfway through this process. There is a shit ton of things left to do and phases to go through before you're done with your Numinous launch. So on to the waning gibbous phase. The theme here is gratitude and giving. The moon is starting to wane after the full moon. It's starting to get darker in the sky as it moves back towards the new moon. You've completed your open cart period and you have a new group of students or members or customers and the revenue to show for it. You are feeling full of love and maybe a bit of relief. This is when you close enrollment on your launch, love up on all of your new customers and clients, humbly thank your team and your family for supporting you through the launch, and being generous with yourself as well, whatever that means to you. Now is a great time to give bonuses to your teams, gifts to your spouse, whether it's time off, a night out, or another token of gratitude. If you overcame any challenges over these last few weeks, acknowledge yourself and treat yourself to your own generosity. The third quarter phase is next, all about release and forgiveness. Again, the moon is half light and half shadow, halfway on its journey from full to new. This is a time when tensions may be glaring, and it is time to face them head on, to prepare yourself for the next new moon, the next time of setting intentions. You must look at what has happened throughout this cycle and make amends, forgive, and let go. Your to-dos are doing final numbers and accounting for your launch after the refund period is closed, journaling on what worked and what didn't work, and having an open conversation between you and your team on how the launch went, the wins and the failures to learn from. Forgive those who let you down, hurt you, made you angry, and forgive yourself for any missteps you made. And a perfect action for the third phase that's separate from business is clean. Your house, your desktop, your closet. The energy of this time is absolutely supported by cleaning your physical environment. And if it was a big launch, it could be very likely that you weren't paying attention to how messy your house became over the last few weeks. At this time, be very gentle with yourself. A lot of people would rather numb out than be fully present with uncomfortable feelings. Instead, treat yourself with plenty of pleasurable self-care and see this as a time of epic growth and evolution, because it is. So, on to waning crescent. This is all about recuperation and reflection. This is our final phase of the lunar cycle and the final phase of our 8-phase launch cycle. This is not a time for action or planning. This is a time of true recuperation. If you expect to be your best self for your team, your customers, your audience, and the whole slew of people reliant on you completely separate of your business, then take this phase very, very seriously. This is the phase you'll be most likely to skip or quote unquote forget. I'm using air quotes. This is when you should catch up on sleep, cook nourishing meals, spend time with people you love, schedule hours or days, if you can, away from anything digital. Do activities you find relaxing and fun. You may be someone who thinks that work is your favorite fun activity. Well, I invite you to challenge this idea, especially during this phase. If you fall into the I love to work category, think critically about what other areas of your life you find joy in, and work to give those areas the time and attention they didn't get while you were preparing for your launch. If you look into the biographies of many geniuses, people we call geniuses, you'll find that many of their great ideas come when they are not working. Give yourself and your audience your greatest ideas and teachings by letting go of the identity of, I love to work, so I'm going to work all the time. It's great to love your work and your business, but it's important to balance that with the rest of your life to avoid burnout. And you'll be way more willing to launch your next brilliant idea when you don't dread the launch process. So when you're sitting here listening to this, you may be thinking about, but what about my customer service person? Or what about my community manager? Or what is about this person on my team or that person on my team or me or whoever? The people who are also involved in the follow-through of a launch, you may find that this cycle is different for different departments or people on your team. You may find that recuperation for your community manager or customer service person needs to be not directly after the launch, because there's a lot of questions that come in during that time period and people need to be onboarded into a program. So you actually have to think about this, and it's great to stagger it. It's great that different people on your team know how to do different elements of work on your team. So keep that in mind too. So again, if you want all of this written up for you, go to thedirtyalchemy.com/phases and grab your copy of the 8 Phases of a Numinous Launch Guide. This process can be used whether or not you're conscious of when new moon and full moons occur. You do not have to plan your launches to coincide with the moon cycle or any other astrological occurrences, though it is not a bad idea. So that is all for today, friends. I will see you next week, where we'll be talking more about magical marketing and your business as a magical practice. There may or may not be a very, very special guest. I'll keep you posted. let's keep this conversation going. You can check us out at Instagram at The Dirty Alchemy. Website is www.thedirtyalchemy.com. And thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. And you have a magical day.